Yeah. Shakespeare wrote Henry V in 1599 when Queen Elizabeth I was the monarch. And there was a lot of anxiety about the monarchy at that time because she was unwed. She had no children, she had no heirs. In this context of the monarchy, Shakespeare made a very patriotic play. A play that shows one of the greatest monarchs in English history and his conquering of France. I think it is very fair to call Henry V propaganda. Just because I call it propaganda doesn't mean that's its whole deal. As with any piece of art, it is multi-layered. It means multiple things. Propaganda is just one thing about it. Henry V is a exceptionally interesting play with historical relevance on multiple levels. One, it being a historical play telling the story of a person who really existed, and two, being a play from like 500 years ago? Okay, not 500, but it is a complex play that has a lot to say. Bars. It is a lot of themes of honor and duty. It asks, what comes first? The king's duty to his kingdom, or a king's duty to his friends? Or a king's duty to literally anything else? Because it's always the kingdom, it's always the honor of the king. This stuff always comes first. Now, I know I simplified it at the beginning and just said yes as soon as the thing started, but I think a better question would be, does the film Henry V, 1987, 1989, how did I get that wrong? I wrote a paper about this book and I put 1987 like three times on it, and it was 1989, and I turned it in like that. So, which is more pro monarchy? The play Henry V or the movie Henry V, 1989 by Kenneth Branagh? So before we get into that, I just wanted to say I'm not a Shakespeare expert at all. The only reason why I'm able to make this video right now is because I'm taking a class in it and I'm enjoying it quite a bit. It's a lot more reading than I'm used to. Also, Shakespeare is just pretty difficult reading than I'm used to. I wanted to share what I learned from like my own observations between these and other stuff we talked about in class. So like if you have any disagreements, please tell me. I want to learn more. I am not an authoritative figure on this in the slightest. So let's talk about Henry V as a play. It is a very complex play, a lot of moving parts, and it being something that really happened, some level of it is meant to be known. You are just supposed to know certain things coming into it, and when this play was written, Henry V was something that people just knew about. But to make the play more understandable, and less of a mess, Shakespeare added in the chorus, probably the most iconic thing about the play, which is a character that is acting like the storyteller. They're going to tell you facts or just information about the story so that you're able to understand it. Take Act 2, Scene 0. With treacherous crowns and three corrupted men. One, Richard Earl of Cambridge, and the second, Henry Lord Scrope of Marsham, and the third, Sir Thomas Grey, Knight of Northumberland. Then in Act 2, Scene 2,
I arrest thee of high treason by the name of Richard Earl of Cambridge. I arrest thee of high treason by the name of Henry Lord Scrope of Masham. I arrest thee of high treason by the name of Thomas Grey, Knight of Northumberland.
I think this makes the play very compelling. It makes it feel like a storyteller. A guy is sitting around and just telling you the tale of Henry V. It's also very meta, and that is one of the things that I really enjoy about plays. The chorus in this version is dressed like a modern person, how a person would dress in 1989, I presume. I don't know, I'm not that old. But seeing a person dressed like that really makes it feel like a storyteller. Because if they were dressed the same, it would kind of just feel like a narrator in a story. But since that guy feels like he could be sitting across from me at a table in a coffee shop. Because of that, it really feels like he's just telling me history. I like that. To illustrate what I mean, let's look at the movie version of these scenes we just looked at.
Which he fills with treacherous crowns, and 3 corrupted men. One, Richard Earl of Cambridge, and the second, Henry Lord Scroop of Masham, and the third, Sir Thomas Grey, Knight of Northumberland.
I arrest thee of high treason by the name of Richard Earl of Cambridge. I arrest thee of high treason by the name of Thomas Grey, Knight of Northumberland. I arrest thee of high treason by the name of Henry Lord Scroop of Masham.
The film also incorporates flashbacks. These flashbacks help illustrate the background that the characters have, something that I think is lacking in the actual play. Though there are previous plays, there's Henry IV Part 1, Henry IV Part 2, which come before this one, where the actual scenes of the flashbacks are taken from in the movie. So if you watch those plays, it's probably similar. The flashbacks help build on the friendship that was there. And to illustrate this, let's talk about a very interesting little bit that is expanded from 2 lines in a play to a couple minutes in the movie. Henry arrives and asks, "What men have you lost, Llewellyn?"
I think the Duke hath lost never a man.
He says, "No, but one man was caught stealing from a church, something expressly forbidden by Henry himself earlier in the play. And that man is Bardolph, one of Henry's old friends. And in the play, it is very simple. It is very cold, very calculated.
But one that is like to be executed for robbing a church. One Bardolph, if your majesty know the man.
We would have all such offenders so cut off. The way that it is so simple that Henry can just condemn Bardolph to death for potentially a just reason, at least in his eyes, speaks to the fact that he is the king. The friendships he used to have don't matter to him anymore, or at least it's not particularly shown within the text of the play. Maybe an actor of some kind could build on this moment, but as written, it is just, hey, this guy committed a crime. Yeah, kill him. But the film version makes a lot of distinct and, in my opinion, better changes. Though with any change, it changes how things are meant to be interpreted, so it's not strictly a good or bad. Depending on what maybe Shakespeare wanted to go for something a little more cold, and Kenneth Branagh wanted to do something a little more humanizing.
What men have you lost, Llewellyn?
I think the Duke hath lost never a man, but one that is like to be executed for robbing a church. One Bardolph, if your majesty know the man. His face is all bugles and whelks and knobs and flames of fire.
The most prominent change is that Bardolph is in the scene. As you saw in the play, Bardolph is just killed off screen, never really talked about again. But in the film, it is graphic. He is hung, and Henry has to watch. Henry has to say, "Yep, do that." Bardolph has this face the entire time, just a 1,000-yard stare, if you will, just staring at Henry. And as their eyes meet, the memory of their friendship plays within Henry's head, and he sheds a tear for his friend. Oh, hi, Montjoy. Though ultimately they end in the same place, it means something different, right? It makes Henry seem like a person that has a duty to the crown, to be the king, to enforce the law, but can still feel what he is doing, feel remorse for his actions where it isn't really shown in the written text. And I think that's what the movie does. In many ways, it humanizes Henry. It makes him seem like a person that is doing this because he has to. He has to be the king. He has to conquer France. He has to do all the things he does in the play, but he could still feel emotion. He could still feel bad for what he has to do, even though he will ultimately do the same thing. And that is the question. Does this make the monarchy look better or worse? It's hard to say. One character I haven't mentioned yet, who's probably my favorite character, and is friends with Bardolph, is Pistol, which is a little confusing. I don't know. See, I don't know that much history stuff. They mentioned tennis balls in this play, and I was like, wait, tennis was a thing back then? It actually was, and that's funny to me. I don't know why. But at the beginning of this scene, because this specific part is in the middle of a scene, Pistol is begging the captain to not kill Bardolph, to spare him. And that is the contrast in the scene. In both versions, he is there.
We ain't need no, you ain't we ain't need no for control.
Henry, leave Bardolph alone. So I think it's fair to say that one of the changes that the film version makes for Henry in Henry V is that he is way more of a person, seemingly. He is more humanized. His actions aren't evil, they're just what he has to do. And he could feel that they're wrong, but he will still go ahead and do them. The question is, does this make it more propaganda-y? I don't know. It does certainly have that feeling sometimes, this glorification of the crown, of Henry, of conquering France. I don't know. I don't actually know the answer. I don't know how something can necessarily be more propagandistic. I don't know which is more or which is less. Either way, they both are in some way. Hey guys, editing text here. I think after giving it some more thought and editing the video, I think that I want to argue that the Kenneth Branagh movie version from 1989 is more pro-monarchy in a way. Oh, this king, he fought for his soldiers. He was a person right there with the soldiers, just like them. We don't have to talk about the fact that he has much more power, wealth, and everything else anyone else could want or need. I think that the way the movie portrays Henry makes the monarchy seem more fair, or at least more justified than it does in Shakespeare's version. Is that a good thing? Probably not. But either way, I still don't know. This is just my opinion. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something from me, the teaching guy, fella. No. I know you're proud of me. I didn't mention BioShock this entire video, except just then. Yeah, well, thanks for watching, and if you're a new subscriber from the Fallout video, because, like, I got, like, a lot from that. Thanks, and I'll try to do something more interesting, but I make videos that I want to make, so, and I want to make this, so... Yeah. Or I should say we. This is all me. Except for the voices. But yeah. We'll make some cool shit. Pow!